look at all the pretty girls with wibbly wobbly eyes.
Welcome to In Defense Of, making the case for overlooked, forgotten or derided movies in 5 minutes or less. Don't have 5 minutes? Here's 5 seconds. Today, In Defense Of, Hardware, a 1990 post-apocalyptic sci-fi cyberpunk horror and one of only 2 feature films made by enigmatic auteur Richard Stanley. Somewhere, sometime in the future, scrap metal artist Jill receives a gift from her boyfriend Mo. A strange robotic skull found in an irradiated wasteland. What they don't know is that it belongs to Mark 13, a government-funded, self-repairing literal death machine designed to indiscriminately thin out the population. Writer-director Richard Stanley only made 2 feature films almost 3 decades ago, but both are so strong that his reputation endures to this day. He started his career in the UK directing music videos for Fields of the Nephilim, a goth band with a creepy cowboy image, and that's how Hardware begins. Far in contrast to the mechanical scrap nightmare we soon enter. Hardware looks convincingly post-apocalyptic. Rubble and metal strewn everywhere, everything is broken and space is at a premium. It's a jagged, claustrophobic hell. This is one of Stanley's strengths, images that convey strong themes. Stanley's visual language can tell a story or force an image with a single shot, sometimes to visceral effect. Most ideas here are in the cyberpunk tradition, and you can fill your boots with the inevitable humanity versus technology themes. Jill's struggle to tame metal for her art turns literal as she's forced to battle Mark 13. I swear every man versus machine story includes a metal penis at some point. Yep, there it is. With all the visual flair and heavy themes, Hardware doesn't need much of a plot to hang them off. So it's a good thing that it's directly ripped from 7-page 2000 AD comic story Shock. Judge Dredd fans will recognise the radioactive desert landscape as the Cursed Earth. Shock is only a few pages long, but its plot is identical to Hardware. It's Stanley who has added the scrap, the mood, the themes of war, mechanisation and government control. Basically everything that makes Hardware great. The robot beastie Mark 13 is superb, ably brought to life by image animation. They did Hellraiser, which also features a creature building itself out of nothing. Mark 13 is carefully shot around a la Alien to keep him mysterious. He feels like a real creature, and he's pretty scary. As for the rest of the cast, plenty of other reviews will mention their quality alongside the superior soundtrack, so I'll just concur there. They're great. I will make special note of chameleon-like UK-based American actor William Hootkins though. He's disgusting.
How about if I fuck you with a string of popcorn, baby, up your ass?
Who is this?
His character is absolutely repulsive on every level, and therefore excellent. Hardware's ending is among the most satisfying that I can recall. Once again, this is Stanley's economy of style. A crucial plot point combines with a striking image to wordlessly invoke a theme. I know that doesn't make much sense if you haven't seen the film, but trust me, it's wonderful filmmaking and I love it. Hardware isn't its own thing. It's a Frankenstein's monster of other influences. You've seen Hardware before when it was called Alien. Mark 13's viewpoint is a combination of Terminator and Predator vision. There's even a scene where Jill hides in the cold where she can't be detected, just like in Predator. The film tells us about the outside world via satirical media soundbites. They paint an unseen picture of ongoing nuclear war and fascist governments that fill in the whys and hows of how humanity has ended up this way. While it 100% works, it's exactly what RoboCop did a few years earlier. There's a bit in Alien that I call the blurg shot. The xenomorph has been well hidden up until this point, and then it suddenly appears like blurg, and it's obviously a man in a suit, somewhat ruining the illusion. Plenty of films have their own blurg shot where an effect is overexposed and spoils the immersion. This here is Mark 13's. Do you think that maybe Richard Stanley came from the world of music videos? I just mentioned like 4 films that Hardware steals from.
It's horrible. I love it.
Hardware's world is entirely believable despite the fact we only see a few rooms and street scenes. Its cast doesn't put a foot wrong, which is rare for a cheap genre piece. Its monster is frightening and seems real, even though he's a puppet we never see in its entirety. Hardware is a testament to Richard Stanley's skill at delivering supreme style on a budget, like Mario Bava and John Carpenter before him. He didn't go on to reach legendary status like those directors, but this shared trait, present in abundance in his sadly limited output, is why Stanley is still spoken about today. If you're interested in what became of Richard Stanley, watch Lost Soul. It's a documentary about Stanley's attempt to make his dream project and the nightmare it turned into. I don't want to spoil anything as it's fascinating. In fact, I would recommend it over Hardware. Hardware ripped off 2000 AD's Shock and was forced to add acknowledgement into its credits, but in an ironic twist, I believe that Hardware was similarly stolen from. The character of Shades is an Irish sunglasses wearing third wheel to the main characters, whose addiction problems and repressed lust for the female lead make him unreliable and untrustworthy. In the comic Preacher, which came 5 years after Hardware, the character of Cassidy is an Irish sunglasses wearing third wheel to the main characters, whose addiction problems and repressed lust for the female lead make him unreliable and untrustworthy. Curious. Watching Hardware again for this review, I recognise Stacey Travis from somewhere. She has a very distinctive look and I just couldn't place her. Good old IMDb told me that she had a small part in Phantasm 2. Interesting, but I didn't realise that was her, so that's not where I knew her from. Then I saw it.
Life's sweet extreme reward. Let it float.
My teenage addiction to The Love Boat: The Next Wave strikes again.